Hey guys, what's up? Drew Burks here. I'm so excited to share this with you. I've never shared this training with anyone outside my private clients and my revenue share partners. So what I want to do is just give you a quick heads up, okay? When I was putting this together, I had the choice to put it together like a traditional webinar and use the whole three secrets and all the sales tactics, but I decided that you're probably smarter than that. And so I wanted to just give you some actual how-to information. And I want to let you know that you're going to want to take notes, okay? This is real stuff. These are real actionable tactics and strategies that you're going to want to take notes on and take action. So with that said, let's get into it. My number one goal for this training is to help you go from stress and overwhelm and frustration to happiness and joy and jubilation. And so, like I mentioned earlier, this is not going to be a lot of the what and the why. This is going to be the how. This is going to be a true training, much more so than a webinar. So again, get ready to take notes. Now, I'm also going to give you this information from the top down, left to right. What that means is I'm going to start at a high level, and as we go through the training, I'm going to break things down into go from the macro to the micro to the super micro, okay? So here we go. First thing I'm going to do is give you the fastest path. Like, this is honestly your fastest path to 7 figures online right now. Number one is you simply need to define your perfect offer or your signature program. Now listen, this can be coaching, this could be a course, this could be a workshop or a mastermind. The key here is that you want to define your offer. You want to define what you're going to be happy providing or fulfilling on. Okay, this is so important. If you don't do that, you're going to get stuck doing something you're not happy doing, right? And so then it's short term. Get clear on what it is that your perfect offer is going to be, how you're going to deliver it, who you're going to deliver it to. There's also a word of caution here. I used to make this mistake forever, is you want to make sure that you are not changing your offer for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you come across, right? You want to create your offer, get clear on what their offer is, what problems it's going to solve, how you're going to deliver, and then you simply just need to find the people that want and need that offer. Okay, now step 2 is you want to map and build out your 7-figure funnel. And I also want to give you a heads up in the beginning, you might not necessarily need a full funnel. Sometimes I refer to this as your conversion mechanism. The reason I say it that way is because a lot of times when you're getting started, you can use organic traffic and Facebook messaging and Facebook posts and comments to close deals, right? You can do 6 figures without any funnel. And if that's what you end up doing, that's perfect. I will tell you, if you want to scale beyond that, you're going to want to start with a funnel. And so even the people that tell you don't need those, if you pay close attention, they're oftentimes using a funnel. Just like when the people tell you, hey, we're going to show you how to use organic traffic only, they're putting an ad in front of you. So I'm also going to deal with some lies or myths or untruths in just a moment and give you the real deal. All right, but step 3 in this plan is to drive traffic. You have to have traffic. It can be organic, paid, affiliate, and JV. And here's the truth. As you're scaling, you're probably going to have a little bit of all of those traffic sources. It's going to be difficult to depend on one traffic alone. Even if you're only going to focus on paid traffic, you likely are going to want to have paid traffic coming from multiple platforms. Now, number 4 is you need to ascend customers into other offers. This is a huge mistake I made. Back in 2016, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was telling him, listen, we've already done $3.6 million in 22 months. I was so happy. It was by far the best project I'd worked on. And he said to me, tell me about your funnel. I told him about it, and he said, Drew, $3.6 million is really good, but you should be making $30 million. And I asked how, and he said, you have to make more offers. In that particular funnel with that particular revenue partner I was a 50% partner with, she only had and was only interested in putting one offer in place. So step 4 is very important. So again, write these down, you guys. Your fastest path to your 7 figures online is, number 1, define your perfect offer, your signature program. Number 2, map and build out the funnel for that. Number 3, focus on traffic. And number 4, once you get those people in, you want to love on those people. You want to over-deliver to those people. You want to make sure that those people become raving fans, and you want to ask them what they need next, and that's what you're going to create. Okay, so there's a big golden nugget in just that. But let's get right to the truth and the lies. If you're like me, your newsfeed is fed every day or filled every day with people telling you that you can succeed with just $5 a day on ads. Listen, are they correct? Absolutely. What they're not telling you is that it's not just $5 a day, it's $5 a day, and most of them are telling you need to run 10 to 20 campaigns a day at $5 a day. So if you do the math, it's not $5 a day, it can quickly become $100 a day. Now that is a very big difference between, $100 a month and $3,000 a month. So when they tell you that you can succeed with $5 a day, it's not necessarily that they're lying, they're just not giving you the whole truth. Or they tell you, listen, all you need is a webinar. And listen, I believe in webinars. I personally love webinars. I've made 90% of my income for the last 6 years from webinars. So yes, I do believe in them. However, it is far from the only thing you need. Okay? They tell you to focus on low ticket offers versus free offers, meaning they tell you rather than driving traffic to an opt-in, a free opt-in, drive them to a low ticket offer. So again, while this might be true for some people or some niches, it is absolutely very far from an absolute. Sometimes they tell you, listen, only focus on high ticket offers. And once again, this might be true for some people, but it's not an absolute. You guys, that's what I want to stress here is there is no one way. There's no right way or wrong way, and there's absolutely not a perfect way. What there are is there are proven ways, and there are ways that are going to work better for you than others. Okay, that's what I want you to take away from this. Now they tell you this is easy, right? There's so many gurus out there that want you to believe that this is just so easy. You can start, you can pay them money, get their course, and just like a snap of the finger, you're going to have everything figured out. Now, I have bad news for you. That's not the case. It is, however, pretty simple. Once you know and once you understand the frameworks and the processes, and that's a big part of what I want to give you today. Remember, I told you this is not going to be a what you need and why you need it, which is a format for webinars because they sell the how. I'm going to show you the what, the why, and I'm going to tell you how. Okay, now they also tell you, hey, listen, your funnel's ugly. It just needs to look great and then it will convert. Now, again, is design helpful in conversions? Absolutely. Is it critical? Absolutely not. There are a lot of very ugly funnels and websites out there that are doing 6 figures, 7 figures, some even 8 figures. So design, sure, but it's more vanity, right? It's more ego. Again, is it helpful? Absolutely. Is it critical? No, it's not. They tell you all you need is good copywriting. Again, just like design, listen, good copywriting is better than bad copywriting, let's be honest, but it's not critical. And here's the reality. Until you get it launched, you don't know if the copywriting is good or bad. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I started a project. I thought it was going to be an amazing project. I was so excited about it. In fact, I was so excited, I hired a copywriter. She was highly recommended. She had a great resume. She'd worked on some fantastic projects. She worked with me for about 2 months. She did a great job. The project flopped. We didn't make a sale. Her fault? No. It just didn't work. The takeaway from that is I could have discovered it wasn't going to work without spending $10,000 on copy. Right? You have to get things launched. I'm going to go into that a little bit later, but I just want you to know that if you're not succeeding now, if you're struggling and it's not working, it's probably not because you're not doing $5 a day on that. It's probably not because you have a webinar or you don't have a webinar. It's probably not because you're first on a low ticket or a free offer. It's probably not because you have a high ticket versus low ticket rate. All these things are important. But again, the truth is you just need to follow a simple 4-step framework and a process and take action. And I'm going to go through all that in just a moment. But before we do that, let me tell you, the real problem is that all those things that we just went through, the ads and whether you're Facebook ads and copywriting and funnel and design and all that, they're all important. But most likely, they are simply acting as a distraction to you that's keeping you from achieving your dreams. Like I mentioned earlier, there's no one way. There's no one blueprint to follow. But there are some very simple frameworks that you can follow that are going to help you, and I'm going to give you those. They also don't tell you in the beginning that there's really only 3 things to focus on. And 99% of us have been skipping over 2 very important steps that have kept us stuck and frustrated and overwhelmed. And we're going to go through that in just a little bit. But I mentioned to you it's simple. It's not easy. It's simple. There's a difference. So I'm going to give you a proven strategy. Notice I'm not saying the perfect strategy. It's not the right strategy. It is a proven strategy. And it's going to help you to avoid flushing tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars down the drain like so many people have done by hiring the so-called quote-unquote gurus, or worse, when they hire amateurs to build their funnels. Because I want to tell you something, guys, right here, right now. For about a year and a half, I consulted for an 8-figure revenue person, an 8-figure award winner at ClickFunnels, and I can tell you that they were fantastic. They're brilliant marketers, are fantastic at selling 6-figure projects, but most of their clients had 0 results. Okay, so just because someone has achieved a guru status doesn't mean that they're worth the money they're charging. On the flip side, just because someone's going to do something cheap doesn't make it a good investment. You want to make sure that you are hiring someone that's going to help you, number one, help you achieve your dream. And you need to make sure that the dream they're helping you achieve allows you to have an ROI on their investment. So I'll give you an example. If you sell a $1 widget, it probably doesn't make sense for you to pay someone 6 figures to sell that $1 widget, because you'd have to sell so many of those $1 widgets, right? You'd have to sell 100,000 of them just to break even. Now, if you sell a $20,000 coaching program, maybe it makes sense for you to pay someone $100,000 if they have experience doing that, because you only have to sell 5 of those, your programs, to get the ROI. So I want you to understand that the value needs to make sense with your business model. Okay, so we're going to go into that a little bit more later. But so you need the proven strategy and you need a proven system, right? You want to model what works. So I mentioned earlier my 4-step framework. I'm going to give that to you right here in this training, right? Again, I'm not going to make you pay for it at the end of the webinar. So make sure you're sticking around. This is, if you have a game plan and you stay accountable and you have a mentor that can help guide you past all the inevitable setbacks, then you will have what you need to achieve success. So who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, this is me right here on the left in a black jacket. This is me at the 2019 FHL Funnel Hacking Live for the 2 Comma award ceremony. Okay, this was like the private networking event before the awards. In the top here, this is my beautiful little boy, is going on 11. My other beautiful little boy who just turned 6, and then my beautiful wife, and then this is me. We were hiking. We love to be outdoors. We're hiking at a place called Annie's Canyon in San Diego. It's a slot canyon. It's very cool to go to. And then at the bottom here is obviously Russell Brunson and Todd. I think his name's Todd, the founders of ClickFunnels. And then that's me. And then this is one of my client partners, Dr. Ian Hoffman. So we have this award where we did over $1 million in just 10 months. It was an incredible webinar we put together. We helped over 250 doctors. Those 250 doctors are on target to save $60 million in student loan debt, and they're servicing 10,000 patients a month on a monthly basis who can't afford healthcare. So just an incredible project I got to work on. Now, what is really great about this is this client is someone who had paid one of the quote-unquote gurus $65,000, I believe he told me, to build a webinar. 14 months later, he didn't even have a webinar put together to show anything for it. He fired them, teamed up with me, and within the same month we launched a webinar, and within 3 months we had it doing over 6 figures, and then within 10 months we hit the $1 million mark. So like Russell and I were talking about here, you really want to focus on one funnel until it hits $1 million. Okay, this is important. You guys want to understand this real quick as we're going to get right into the meat and potatoes of this presentation. Is just like Russell was sharing with me here in this event, most people, they're focusing on shiny objects, right? They're trying all these different things. Remember the fastest path. You want to design your core offer, map out and build your funnel. In this case, I chose a webinar. You want to drive traffic to it. In this case, in this last example here, we used Facebook. And then we used the 4th step of my framework to make sure that we hit that money. Okay, so we did not, and this offer too, I want to tell you, this is the 2nd webinar funnel that we did over $1 million in, and we did not ascend them to anything. So even though we achieved over $1 million in 2 different funnels, we still were making the mistake of not ascending them. Okay, so we'll talk about that as well. So here we go. What we're going to cover today is I'm going to give you guys 9 mindsets and beliefs. Now, this is not a woo-woo course. It's not a Tony Robbins course, although I'm a huge fan of those, Tony and Dean. This webinar, again, is not the what and why. We're going to focus on the how. And these are mindset and beliefs that I use every day, mindset and expectations, to help keep myself in check. But I also find that it helps me keep my clients and my partners in check as we're going through things. Excuse me, I get a drink of water there. I'm also going to share with you a foundational formula. It's really a statement that just helped me get super clear on what it is we're doing, right? Because whether you're doing e-commerce or information marketing or you're consulting or coaching, if you're doing anything online, this statement is going to really just help you get clear what it is you do. Okay, and it's important because people used to ask me, what do you do? And I always had a tough time explaining it until I came across this statement. Then we're going to jump into the only 3 things you need to worry about. I mentioned that earlier. Most people don't really tell you the 3 things you need to worry about. And they don't tell you that because they're so busy selling you what I call the individual pieces to the puzzle, right? So they're selling you the course on how to create a course, which is great. But let's be honest, if you don't know how to market the course, you don't know how to sell the course, you don't know how to craft an offer, then you don't need a course on creating a course. Or they're selling you a course on how to run Facebook ads, which is really great. But if you don't have a funnel to send those ads to, or you don't have an offer, it doesn't matter, right? You don't need the pieces to the puzzle. What you need is you need to have all of the pieces for the puzzle, and then you need help putting those pieces together so that you achieve the goal, which is a completed puzzle. And that's an analogy for what you want right now is you want a completed sales funnel that's put together with a great offer, with traffic, and optimized and putting money in your bank each and every day. And if that is not what you want, then you're probably in the wrong place. But I'm going to assume you're here right now. You've been with me for about 17 minutes. You probably are after that. Like that is probably your end goal. Now, you can let me know if it's not, but I would wager that if you're here right now, your end goal is to have a great offer and a funnel with traffic and automated sales coming in every day. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to break down the 4-step framework. So the first step is going to be strategy. The second step is going to be building. The third step is going to be launching. And the fourth step is optimize and scale. We'll break that down in a little bit, but we're going to go through these specific kind of subsets of that framework as we get into this. So here are the mindset and beliefs, you guys. It's really mindsets and expectations more than anything, but done is better than doing. I want you guys to understand, I want you to screenshot this. I want you to write this down. These are important. Done is better than doing. What that means is right now, this webinar, this slide deck is not in its final format, but it's done. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to share a quick story with you real quick. Let me share number 2, and then I'm going to share a quick story with you to really drill this home. So number 2 is imperfect action beats perfect planning every time. That just expands on done is better than doing, right? Like there's no such thing as perfect. So if you're trying to be perfect, you're just giving yourself an excuse not to take action. So imperfect action beats perfect planning every time. So here's a quick story. So back before I started online marketing, this must have been 2000, or it was probably during the transition. I would say maybe 2008 or 9 timeframe, maybe even 2007. I was in real estate. I was running a real estate brokerage at the time, and I was teaching real estate agents how to use blogging and social media to grow their real estate business. And that's kind of how I transitioned from real estate into online marketing. But at that point, I was still in real estate, and I was using social media to grow my real estate business. And I'd use social media to become an influencer in the space. I was ranked in the top 100 people in the nation for being one of the top 100 influencers in real estate. And as a result, I would get to speak on a lot of stages. So I was at the California Association of Realtors, speaking to a room about 750 to 1,000 people. And I was talking about video marketing. And after that, if you've done any speaking, you know, after that, people come up to you and talk to you. And this young gentleman came up to me, introduced himself, and he said to me, he said, I'll never forget this. He said, so Drew, I just want to introduce myself. And he goes, I just want to tell you, great job on stage, but listen, I've seen a lot of your videos on YouTube, and they're not that good. And I was a little taken aback at the moment, you guys. I was like, well, all right. So I asked him, I said, well, I appreciate the honesty and the candor. Thank you. Question though, like if they're not that good, like why are you here right now today? Like why are you in this room watching this? And he said to me, well, my broker told me I needed to come and watch. And so I said, well, that's amazing. Like who's your broker and why did he tell you to do that? Like, why do you think he told you to come here if my videos aren't that good? And he said, because I don't have any videos, right? So my imperfect videos were better than his perfect not done videos. Okay, so you guys have to be in action. My imperfect, not good videos got me on stage to speak to 750 to 1,000 people. His perfect, not done videos got him a seat in the audience. Okay, now here's another really big one. This is huge, you guys. It's probably not going to work the first time. Think about that. When you launch a funnel, it's probably not going to convert that great in the beginning. Or when you make an offer, it might not convert that great in the beginning. Or when you run an ad, it's probably not going to work in the beginning. Russell Brunson said on stage at FHL 2019 that 85% of the time his funnels don't work the first time. Now, there's a distinction that you have to get here. This is not saying the idea is not going to work. This is not saying your business is not going to work. It's not saying, hey, this was my first business, it failed, so I'm going to do the second one. What it is telling you is that you need to have the expectation that when it comes online business and probably every aspect of our life, you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to make changes. You're going to have to make adjustments. And when it comes online, you guys, those adjustments come down to you might have to change the price. You might have to change the way the offers package. You might have to change the way the funnel looks. You might have to change traffic platforms. You might have to try a different demographic or different ad messaging or different ad creative. Now, number 4, one of my favorites is money loves speed. What this means is you have to be in action. You have to make daily progress. You have to act without overthinking things. And number 5, really key, especially when you're starting out, that simple is sexy. Right in the beginning, I said this in the very beginning, 20 minutes ago. In the beginning, you don't have to have these big elaborate funnels. Simple, sexy. At the beginning, you literally just have to have an audience and make an offer. That's it. And we'll go into that a little bit more as we get into this. But number 6, earning versus learning. What I mean here is it's important to learn. I dedicate at least 1 hour every day to learning and getting better at my skill. But there was a very long time where I was so focused on learning that I was not earning any money. Right? I'd literally go weeks or months without making any money, and I would justify by like, oh, I'm just studying this. Like, I just need to learn this one thing. So I don't know. You ever feel that way, you guys? You ever feel like, I would do that, but I just have to learn this one thing. I just have to learn how to do this, and then I'll do it. That is a trap. You want to avoid that. Number 7, evidence is important. Here's what I know is, especially when you're starting out and if you're on a shoestring budget or you're helping clients who are on a shoestring budget, it is important, it's critical, it's a must that you get evidence today, daily, that it's going to work or not work. Because it's that evidence that allows you to make the necessary changes to get to a point where it is working. Okay, so evidence is important. You can't be expected to start and spend money for 2 months or 3 months or 6 months or a year before you make any money, right? You wouldn't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And if you're helping with clients, they don't want to do it either. They don't mind paying you. They just want to get results quick. Now, number 8 is data over assumptions and opinions. Listen, I can't stress this enough. You have to track the data. I'm going to go into this in great detail in just a little bit, but data over assumptions and opinions. And number 9, your minimum viable concepts. This really builds on number 1 and number 2 and number 5. So 1, 2, 5, and 9 all kind of go together. So that's it, guys. 9 mindset, beliefs, and expectations. Screenshot it, write them down, and understand you need to accept these to be a truth if you want to be able to proceed through this business without being overwhelmed and frustrated and angry or pissed off. Now, here's a question. This is literally $1 million question, a $10 million question, might be $1 billion question for you. This young lady, Hanalei Swan maybe is her name, like 12 or 13 years old. Incredible young lady. I saw her one Saturday maybe 2 months ago. I was sitting on this couch Saturday morning, flipping through my Facebook news feed on my phone, bored out of my mind. And I saw this little girl in an interview, and she dropped out of elementary school, which is crazy. She's already doing 6 figures online, which is even crazier. And the interviewer asked her, like, how'd this happen? And she said, well, you know how every adult asks every kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the interviewer said, yeah, I know. Of course, I've asked lots of kids that. Now, listen, guys, I'm 47 years old. I've asked kids that. As a kid, I was asked that question. So how about you? Did people ask you when you grow up, what do you want to be when you grow up? Are you asking people that? What do you want to be when you grow up? This girl said one day an adult came to her, and this adult said, what do you want to be now? And she said she was so taken back, but she felt like her head exploded. And when I heard her say this, it was like my head exploded. Like, yeah, like, what do I want to be right now? Right? Like, right now, the world is flipped upside down. Most of us have a fair level of uncertainty, right? Most of us have some hope of like, wow, what do we want to do? Like, we could do things different now, right? Like, the world's not what it was 6 months ago, right? For us, in particular, here in San Diego, we were on lockdown effective March 12th. I think it was March 12th. Yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on 6 months, right? Like, what do you want to be right now? I want you to think about that. What do you want to be right now? Okay, think about that. What do you want to be right now? You can be anything and do anything that you want. And I know you might be thinking, sure, Drew, but I'm 5 foot tall. I can't go slam dunk. Or, Drew, I got kids. I can't just pick up and travel. And I would just ask you, like, is that true? Like, what do you want to be right now? The next thing people ask me, you guys, is say, Drew, you've worked with a lot of clients over the last 6 years. A lot of those clients have had success at varying levels. And there have been some that haven't been as successful. Like, what's the common theme amongst the extraordinary client results? Like, what set the 7-figure people apart from the 6-figure, and what set the 6-figure people apart from the 5? Well, I want you to know that for me personally, I'm building a legacy. I don't want to just work with any client. My focus is creating generational security and certainty for my family. So what I have found is that the clients who are as committed to their goal as I am mine, clients who will take radical accountability for their success and their failure, those are the people that I work with. Those are the people that I surround myself around, because when I look at the 7-figure people, they were committed to their goal. They took it serious. They looked at the project as a business. They understood that they wanted to build a 7-figure or multi-7-figure business, and they were 100% accountable for their actions, their success, and their failure. They put in the time to practice it. That is the difference. Everyone else, they treat it like a hobby. They didn't practice. They would just show up and kind of read the lines as they were going through it, going through the motions. And they were incapable or unwilling to be responsible and accountable for their own actions. So I will tell you this, that one thing for sure is you have to have a positive mindset, and you have to be willing to accept responsibility for the success and the failure. Okay, so if that's you and you're ready, then let's get into some fun stuff. So here's a young lady I met in March, I believe it was. She contacted me about a mastermind I was doing in April. It was a 1-month mastermind. She had no sales experience, no digital marketing experience, no online experience whatsoever. I invited her to a mastermind. It was during the month of April. It was a $2,000 cost. She was one of a small group of people who decided to join. And here's what's amazing. She was not able to attend one or any of the 8 live calls. She was the only person that was not able to attend any of the calls. Okay, so you would think she's at a disadvantage. She had low self-esteem, no confidence. She had no digital marketing experience, no online experience, never built a funnel, never done any of this stuff. And she was a single mom with young kids, making just, like a small amount of money, minimum wage or something like that, and wasn't even able to attend the live trainings. And you can see she said, before joining your mastermind, I was struggling with figuring out what marketing strategies I could use in my business and my clients. Your program gave me everything I needed to take action. She says, I have to admit in the beginning I was unsure about how this would work, but literally all I had to do was copy and paste. Within 30 days I had my first client. And this one client not only reimbursed her for her investment, right, covered her investment, but put $500 profit in her pocket. Having the skill to open my eyes to what's possible and just how easy it can be to make money by helping others share their message with the world. Thanks so much, and she left it online on my birthday. Here's just some other examples. Now, I need to make a disclaimer. I'm not making you any income guarantees here. I'm not implying you're going to make any money. Obviously, I don't know you right now. I don't know anything about you. I don't know anything about your offer. I don't know anything about your work ethic or anything and I don't have a crystal ball. But I want you to know what has been possible for people that I've worked with. So these are just some screenshots from different things. So here's a funnel that did $226,000. It was an automated webinar. It just runs on autopilot. Here's a new client I started working with and helped them get some ads going and to a webinar. They were converting at 14%. You can see I asked him, registration or sales? Sales, ranging between 9 and 14% of sales. Here's something you want to know about that, guys. In my experience, going all the way back to my very first webinar in 2008, 2009, and certainly from all my six-figure and seven-figure experience from 2014 and beyond, so for the last 6 years, I can tell you if you have a webinar that converts at 5%, you are in the six-figure range. Now, I don't know if it's low figures or high six figures because that depends on volume. But if you have a webinar that converts at 10%, you're in the seven-figure range. Okay, I know a lot of people report those numbers to be true. They've always been true on every project I've worked on. Here was someone who said, I just launched it. 905 people already open. I'll spare the language. He says, first buy. And then a few hours later says, 5 people have already bought as I send a picture. And then here's 94 clicks. And then it says, see the percentage, which I can't tell what it was here. Here was another one that someone, after they started working with me, their sales had increased by 8%. It had $295,000 in sales. Here's someone who joined another mastermind and says he already had 5 leads working. Okay, so what does it take to succeed? Well, the answer to this question, guys, is really very, very simple. In fact, it's so simple, most of us tend to ignore this and we waste our time and money searching for some complicated answer, some sophisticated system that some brilliant marketer sold us. But what's it really take? The answer is simply focus, clarity, and commitment. Here's what I mean. You have to have a clear vision of where you're at and where you're going. It's important. You have to know those two things, like where you're at right now and where you're going. Then you have to be focused on it and you have to be committed to it. You have to take massive action every single day. You have to be certain in what you're doing. And you have to have effective execution, right? That's it. The answer is focus, clarity, commitment. And a little formula therefore is massive action plus certainty plus effective execution equals a cure-all. Here's a quick Tony Robbins slide. If you take action, right, if you take more or less action, you're going to get more or less results. If you take more action, you get more results, plain and simple. If you get more results, you're going to have more belief and more certainty, right? If you have more belief and certainty, you're going to have more potential. It's just the way it works. If you take less action, you have less results. If you have less results, you have less beliefs and less certainty and less potential. So that's it, you guys. Now the most dependable, this is the foundational statement that I told you. So I'm going to leave this here for a moment, and I want you to write this down. When I saw this, this was a huge aha moment. It was like such a simple explanation of something that had been otherwise so confusing and difficult for me to explain to people when they would say, what do you do? So the statement is this: the most dependable and consistent way to generate wealth is to turn advertising into profits. So let's unpack this statement, you guys. What do you want? Well, most of us want dependable and consistent income, dependable and consistent wealth, right? That's what most of us want. Earlier I said you're here because you, most likely, if you were here, that was, I think, around the 17 to 20 minute mark in this, I said to you, look, the fact you're here is because you probably want a great offer, an automated funnel with automated sales, and money going into your bank. So a dependable and consistent way to generate wealth, right? That's what you want. Well, how do you do that? Turn advertising into profits. Traffic into profits. Advertising gets you traffic. And profits, you have to have an offer. Okay, so write this down. The most dependable and consistent way to generate wealth is to turn advertising into profits. I want you to think about this. when someone says, what do you do? This is what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're in e-commerce or information marketing or affiliate marketing. Your goal is to turn advertising or traffic into profits. So listen, the only three things, when you break that statement down, the only three things you really have to focus on, you guys, are your offer. What are you going to sell? How are you going to get traffic to it? And how are you going to convert them? Remember, I'm giving this to you from the top down. As we go, we're going to get more details. But now you know the foundational statement of everything you do online, despite what type of business you're in online, is your goal is to turn advertising into profit, traffic into profit. Well, you do that by, you have traffic, you send that traffic to an offer, and if you do that, they buy or they don't buy. Your goal is to buy. That's the conversion. Now, remember, this is not the what and why type of webinar. This is going to be the how. This is going to be the real truth. So I want to tell you something. You only focus on offer, traffic, and conversion. Here's the thing. There are so many things that you get distracted on. I touched on it earlier. Why do you need a course if you don't know how to sell it? So in the beginning, for years, I struggled. And here's why. In the beginning, when I first started in 2008, the only formula I could find was traffic and conversions. It was like, that's all you got to focus on, traffic and conversions. I quickly realized that it needed to be traffic, offers, and conversions. And so I was making some money. I was doing 6 figures a year. And then I hit the wall. I kept hitting this just like this, imaginary wall. And I would get so frustrated. And then what would happen? I started to search for answers. So I'd get stuck with shiny objects or distractions. Then I learned the foundational statement. The most dependable and consistent way to generate wealth is turn advertising into profits. And that allowed me to go, oh, aha, I get it. And so I was able to get to 7 figures a year. But what's happening is I was still having all these failed funnels and offers. I was trying affiliate marketing the traditional way. I came up with a different way to do affiliate marketing that works. I tried Facebook ads. I got banned accounts. I tried Instagram. I tried challenges. I tried workshops. I tried masterminds, email marketing. I tried spam marketing, local marketing and partnerships. And, it just constantly felt like I was trying to put these puzzle pieces together. And I want to help you. I want to give you this, right? Because you have all these puzzle pieces. I want to give you, I'm a big analogy person, so I need you to understand why my brain's using this as an analogy. These puzzle pieces are Facebook ads courses and online courses and Instagram courses and video marketing courses and all of the pieces that may or may not be necessary for your specific strategy. You got to figure out how to put them together. And sometimes you get some put together and they don't really go together. And sometimes you get a few of them put together, but you're still missing 3 or 4 pieces. And this is because these marketers are brilliant. They sell you. This is what you want to understand. Most courses that you're buying are a course that are simply a puzzle piece. Okay? And so the slow, very costly, very painful, very frustrating way is to build your business piece by piece, right? You just want to go, this is the puzzle I'm putting together. Someone show me the fastest, most direct, most affordable way to get that business or that puzzle built for me so that I can start making money as fast as possible. So if that's you, then you're in the right place. Listen, years ago, back in 2016 or 17, I started consulting with Michael and Brian, okay? And at the time when I joined them, they had 1 client. And they were doing real well, and they're brilliant people. They're brilliant marketers. But what happened is they started selling. They went sales heavy, and they were growing this, and they went from 1 client to literally dozens of clients, some of those clients with as many as 10, sometimes 12 different funnels. So we're very sales heavy. And what happened is I could not keep up with their sales. And I was doing all of the client development, okay? And so I couldn't keep up with it. And so that's when I developed this 4-step framework. This, you guys, might very well be the most valuable piece of training you get when it comes to online business. When I developed this 4-step framework, I want you to understand the scenario. Development was behind. We were behind on probably a dozen different clients, which meant we probably were behind on 50 to 100 different funnel projects. And I was tasked with, I had to fix that problem. And so as a consultant for them, I came up with this 4-step framework. And I want to caution you first. When I came up with this, my immediate thought, my instinct was, well, this is stupid. It's too simple. There's no way this is going to solve this problem. So I thought about it. I wrote down, planned on, stared at my whiteboard, all this. And then a couple days later, I presented it to Brian Michael, and their initial instinct was, Drew, seems too simple, right? Like strategy, build, launch, optimize. We don't get it. So I want to caution you, don't dismiss it because it's simple. I'm going to show you, I promise I'm going to show you how this framework is going to become the most valuable tool you have. And I'm also going to show with you, I'm going to give you a little bonus of how you can use this framework to go land high ticket clients. Okay, I created it as a project management tool. Turns out it's become not only a very effective and proven project management tool, but also an extremely good sales tool. All right, so the first step is strategy, and we're going to break all this down in a moment, but I want to just give you a quick highlights here. So, well, never mind. I think I have that in the next slide, so I'm going to hold off on that in a moment. So just know, write it down. Write this down. Number 1, strategy. Number 2, build. Number 3, launch. Number 4, optimize and scale. Put a little asterisk by optimize and scale, if you would. Okay, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. So just write that down. Strategy, build, launch, optimize, and put an asterisk by optimize and scale. So the wrong way to do strategy is this. The wrong way to do strategy is to map out this big, complicated, super sophisticated, super detailed funnel, right? You don't want to be very complex. You don't want to build it out first. You don't want to hire a lot of experts. And you don't want to spend months trying to figure it out. We touched on some of this stuff earlier, and you don't want to spend a fortune, right? That's the wrong way. And I say that because I see people doing it the wrong way every single day. I consulted for a client where they did these funnel days, and so almost every week we'd have clients come in and do these funnel days, and they were incredible. Clients loved them. Clients were eating them up. Clients gave all these amazing video testimonials, and they felt great. They felt like Superman or Superwoman. What happened was, after they left there, they then paid 6 figures to sign a development schedule to get all that built. And they were still super happy. And then what happened over a couple months, they realized they were never going to be able to create the amount of content they needed to execute on those projects. And so that was really when the 4-step framework was starting to get born, right? That's when I was developing. It was when I was realizing this was happening. And so when I went back to Michael and Brian, I said, hey, I got it. Here's how this is going to help. If we use this 4-step framework, if I can go back, if we use this 4-step framework, when you're selling people, you can explain to them we have a 4-step phase, and you can explain to them how many projects we currently are at, and we put everything into a development schedule based on this 4 steps, where they were going to be at the 4 steps. What it allowed them to do is allow them to start actually closing more sales. So turned out that's where the first indication maybe was going to be a great sales tool. Started helping them close more deals because they were able to show the clients, like, here's the phase, here's how many people we have in this phase, and how many in this phase, how many in this phase, and how many in this phase, and everything had a timeline for it. So that was the number one thing that really came great. The second thing is I was able to contact all the clients and apologize for being behind and explain to them the new process we put in place and explain to them where they were at with their given project, right? Like, you're in phase 1, you're in phase 2, you're in phase 3, you're in phase 4, etc. And the clients loved it. They ate it up, you guys. They were like, this is incredible. They were awesome. So we went from having unhappy clients to raving fans. And everyone knew exactly where they were at, and they had a reasonable expectation of what they could expect from us. And they also knew what they needed to expect of themselves in order to create the content to execute on all these incredible funnels they got mapped out. So that was the part I want to show you. Now, the smart way, right? Notice I'm not saying the right way. There's a wrong way because it doesn't work, but there's no right way. There's a smart way. The smart way is to take your strategy and map out 5, get clear on 5 elements. Number 1, what's your offer going to be? Notice a trend, right, going on here. I talked about this from the very beginning, and it's consistent. Number 1 thing you want to do is focus on your offer. Number 2, you want to focus on the funnel or the conversion mechanism when you're beginning, which might be phone calls, it might be cold emails, it might be Facebook messaging. But you are going to need to convert them. So I prefer that people start to map out what this version 1 minimum viable product of the funnel looks like, because when you do that, you're going to be able to identify what type of content you need. Now, I want you to understand, I believe we get into the content here as we go through here, but I'm just going to give you this real quick. So when it comes to content, you have free content and paid content. You have top of the funnel. That's the content to get people into your funnel. You have the middle of the funnel, which is engaging people, building trust, building credibility, getting them to take some action. You have the bottom of the funnel, which is really the strong call to actions and membership paid type of content. And you want to plan out your traffic. How are you going to get traffic? Organically or free? Again, you're probably going to want to focus on both of those, but in the beginning, I understand if you have to just start with organic. Now, this is the wrong way to do your strategy. This is the smart way. Now, here's Tiffany. Tiffany called me up, I don't know, 2 years ago maybe, said, hey, I've hired a bunch of gurus to do a webinar, help me do a webinar. We've had to cancel the webinar 4 different times. I'm frustrated. I was referred to you. Can you help me? She did not want to use tech. She was overwhelmed with tech. And so what I was able to do, knowing my 4-step framework, I asked her some questions, right? I asked her some questions. Well, tell me about your offer and your niche. So she told me. I knew she was clear on that. Tell me what you're going to offer them. She was clear on that. She was clear on how she was going to get traffic. She had a big Facebook following. So all I knew I had to do with her was help her revisit the strategy of how she was going to deliver that. So we chose to use Facebook Live. She was comfortable doing that. We helped her re-script her webinar and just kind of make some changes to the offer. So we used an MVP strategy. She launched it and did over $44,000 in sales the first week and went on to do multiple 6 figures. So it was because, now listen, I kind of glossed over this. She called me on like a Wednesday. I was leaving on Sunday morning to go to the Redwoods. So I had literally Thursday, Friday, Saturday to help her. And then she was going to do the webinar on that early that next week, I think Tuesday. So in a short time, went from hiring 4 different people, postponing it 4 different times, spending tens of thousands of dollars with gurus, to this short 4 to 5 day window and launching and making $44,000. It was incredible. Or here's Nicola, who came to me a couple months back. I don't know, this was probably April timeframe. She had a business coach. She still has a business coach. She was frustrated. She wasn't making any money. She had a clear niche. She had an offer, but she didn't know how to present the offer or make the offer. So I helped her go through an MVP strategy. And in the first month, she did over $10,000 in sales. So again, knowing this 4-step framework, I was able to see like she had a rough strategy. She had an idea of how to get traffic, and she had an offer. She just didn't know how to put those pieces together into a funnel. She was using Kajabi, whereas Tiffany just used Facebook Live and a ClickFunnels order form. So again, I'm not caught up in the tool. It was just understanding where they're at. So if you've been to a mall, let me tell you, the 4-step framework is like that you are here map in a mall. When I talk to someone, I can just understand or see clearly where they're at. And because I know where they're at and they know where they want to go, I can say, here's what has to happen. And it's just using an MVP strategy. The reason is Tiffany needed to get a result. She needed to get evidence that she was going to be able to execute this, right? She was having a lot of self-doubt because she had already had to cancel a few times. Nicola she needed evidence that this was going to work, right? She had a business coach that she'd been working with for a year and not made any money. So let me tell you, the MVP strategy, minimum viable product, sometimes I just call it the MV strategy because sometimes minimum viable offer, minimum viable funnel, it's just that the minimum viable, like you're done is better than doing. Remember the mindsets. And remember the 4-step path to 7 figures. You just want to create your course, your offer. Now, you want to sell it before you're ready. A lot of people have a problem with this, but I want to tell you this picture here is a picture that represents how I was feeling back in 2010 or 11. A long time ago, so I can't remember if it was 2010 or 11, but I was coming back from a Real Estate Tech South event. It was called RETSO, R-E Tech South. It was an event. I was in Atlanta, Georgia. I was speaking on stage for another real estate conference. And at the time, I was broke. And I room shared with a buddy of mine, went there to save some money, and the whole time I was stressed out. And we flew there together and back because I'm in San Diego, he's in Orange County. And on the way back, he was sitting across from me, and he looked over, and I probably looked like this guy or worse, and said, Drew, what's going on? I said, man, Scott, I just don't want this plane to end because I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent in a few days. And I was stressed out. And so as the flight went on, I had this idea. So I pulled up my notebook and I wrote down 1 through 12. And at the top, I wrote down 90-day blog blueprint for realtors. So 90 days, essentially 12 weeks. I created a 12-week outline. I leaned over later. I said, Scott, what do you think about this outline? And he looked at it and said, man, this looks incredible. What is this? Do you have a course already? I said, no, I just made it up, but do you think realtors will pay for it? He's like, I do. So I went home, I did a webinar, I made sales of that, and that's a whole nother story I'll tell you about. But anyway, that course, 90-day blog blueprint for realtors, helped me do 6 figures in sales from that course. And I did not even have that course created, you guys. I created the outline, I sold it, people attended, I delivered it live week 1. I asked them what they wanted to know. I delivered live week 2. On week 3, I did another webinar and sold a new group of people in. And I taught those people live week 1, live week 2, live week 3. The third time I sold it, it was automated. And then I just did live webinars and I sold people into the course. It was incredible. So the benefit to that, you guys, is this. When you do it that way, you don't waste time and money creating something that people might not want to buy. That's a big one. But the other big one is you get to deliver people exactly what they want, need, and what they paid for, right? There's no better way to make sure that their expectations are matched up perfectly with the content you're creating. So here is the 7-step offer framework. Number 1, your offer needs to have a promise. Your offer, there needs to be a process. How are you going to deliver it? You need to set the price. This is important, obviously. You need to have bonuses. Your offer needs to have a risk reversal. What I mean by that is people need to feel like that there's no risk to them. You need to have scarcity and urgency. People have to have scarcity and urgency or they're not going to take action. Let's just be honest. And then you need to have your story. People need to hear your story. This is the biggest thing. If you're creating content that's not getting engagement, it's likely you're not sharing a story. So this is not a training. I'm not going to train you how to create stories right now, but just know that you need to share your personal story and what you're doing. Okay, very important. So take the 7-step offer framework, screenshot it, write it down. Here's a quick story. I was consulting for Eric Thomas, the guy in the Blazer, and one of his partners, Candace Simmons, both fantastic people. I was consulting for Eric for almost 2 years, running all of their automations and their Infusionsoft. And during about a year and a half, I was talking to their team and realizing that they just had a bunch of offers. And their offers were confusing. They weren't even clear on what the offers were. So I asked them, hey, you do a lot of public speaking, obviously. How many people on your list have a struggling speaking business or want to start a speaking business? And they responded with, I don't know. So I responded with, let's send an email out, a quick survey email, and let's ask them. And the people who have an interest in it, let's give them an opportunity to schedule a phone call. So I put Cantus on here, a guy in the sweater, good-looking gentleman there, because he did the sales calls. They did over 88 sales calls within 1 week, I believe, possibly a week and a half. And out of that, it closed over $50,000 in sales. From that, they created a course called Speak for Profit, which I believe does multiple mid-6 figures right now, right? And it's on autopilot. So why did I share that? Is because, listen, they're running through making offers. I took my 4-step framework and said, hey, let's go find out if people want to speak, right? The strategy was, let's go to your email, let's survey the list. So it's what I call a list monetization strategy. Let's go find out if we have people interested. They were. The strategy was give them an opportunity to do a sales call. We disguised it as a coaching call. And from that, we made an offer, right? MVP at its finest, multiple 6 figures. Or this guy, David. When I started working with him, he was the #2 NLP trainer in the world. I believe he's #1 right now, so I put top 1 or 2 NLP experts in the world. When his team came to me, he didn't come to me. His team came to me and said, listen, we have this webinar. We run all the traffic for it. It's fantastic. We built it. It's amazing. It's done $120,000 in 18 months on autopilot. But we think it can do better. What do you think? So I charge him a fee to audit the webinar. I have a service to audit people's funnels and webinars. So I did that. I came back to him and said, hey, listen, #1, congratulations. Because you have something done and it's making money. It's fantastic, right? It was done. Better than doing. It was done. It was imperfect, but it was done. I said to him, here's what I would change. And I gave him a plan. And that plan, you guys, was the 4-step framework. Here was the strategy. Here's what we need to get built. Here's how we need to relaunch it. And here's how we're going to track the data. Because everything for me, you'll learn here in a little bit, is data driven. I want to be able to quantify the ROI. And so they agreed. They hired me. We teamed up. We're actually revenue partners. and within the first month did $58,000 in the first month. So do the numbers, just round up. $60,000 in 1 month versus $120,000 in 18 months. How much better is that? I don't know, someone do the math. Like, that is so much better. We just made some quick changes. Now, here's the reality. We could do way more, but they have an issue that a lot of people have is they don't want to really do what it takes. Remember the commitment I mentioned earlier. That commitment to excellence, that commitment to taking full accountability, that commitment to treating it like a business and not just like, well, we did step one and that's it. So again, I mentioned this partner too, Dr. Reid Hoffman. I told you he paid someone, I think $45,000, maybe $65,000 to help build a webinar. 14 months later, didn't have a webinar, hired me. We hosted the first webinar in the exact same month, did over $1 million in 10 months. So here's a key takeaway from some of those recent stories I just shared with you. If you have an underperforming launcher funnel, start by tweaking the offer. Look at the price point, look at the bonuses, look at the stack of what you're actually offering, and then refine that, okay? And if you have a full value ladder, refine that. If you're just starting, just refine just the offer. Remember, there are a lot of details, but in the beginning, if you're not making money in the beginning, there's really only your offer. Either the offer is converting or it's not. And you can only tell if the offer is converting if you have traffic. So if you have an offer and you don't have traffic or conversion, you got to focus on the traffic, right? This is very simple when you look at it this way. In the beginning, hear me out, in the beginning, there's only those three things. If you're not making money right now, it's because either your offer's wrong, or you don't have traffic, or there's no conversions, right? The hook, the story, the offer. That's it. But it's really the hook, the traffic, and the offer. The story gets you the traffic. Okay, so what is a funnel? People ask this all the time. There's no one answer. There's no right answer. I know there are people out there that will tell you, hey, this is the perfect webinar, or this is the perfect funnel system. I want to caution you about something real quick. This is just a quick rant, but listen, I think we can all agree that perfection does not exist. There's no such thing as perfection. So you should be very wary when someone tells you, hey, I have the perfect funnel system. I have the perfect webinar. Because listen, can you really trust that person? Is that person really trustworthy when we know nothing's perfect? But they're selling you something is perfect? Just think about that. That is, for me, when you hear that, that is a sign that you should be talking to someone else. Okay, but what is a funnel? It consists of content. It consists of some type of conversion mechanism, be it a series of pages or a process to get someone to respond to a post and a direct message and a phone call. So it's, I say it's content, it's the funnel and the tech. I like to have a profile funnel on your Facebook page, meaning when people go to your personal profile, I like to make sure your profile is optimized for whatever your current promotion is. I say current because you can change this as frequently as you want. Most funnels, again, when you're first starting out, maybe not, but you're gonna have some email automations and you're gonna have ads. So this is not, when you look at this 5-step, what is a funnel? I understand this is not day one funnel, but if I'm looking out into a funnel where there's already money coming in, it's really these 5 things: content, funnel and tech, your Facebook profile, your email automations, and your ads. But I want you to remember this. Again, when you're starting out, don't make it super sophisticated and complicated because your funnel is only as profitable as the weakest link. So the more moving parts, the more opportunity you have to have a weak link. Here's a quick example of an MVP funnel. Now I'll show you this. If this is a true MVP funnel, I should have stopped right here. So it would be my traffic, free or paid, my optimized profile, and then a low ticket offer. Now this could be a lead magnet, this could be a $10 offer, whatever it is, but there's page 1. And then if you have an order form on the second page, there'd be an order form. Sometimes people just put this right on this page. And then there'd be a confirmation. So the true minimum viable product or funnel would be my traffic, my profile, and then page 1, possibly page 2 based on how I built the funnel, and then a confirmation. Here's something that's important. I typically don't worry about the OTO, which is one-time offer, until I get these first funnels working. So let me give you an example. Let's say this is an opt-in. If this page is not converting, it doesn't really matter what's back here, right? Because if no one opts in, they're not going to see it. I want you to really understand that. If they don't opt in here, nothing else matters. So you focus on these things one step at a time. Okay, now the green themes are the audiences. This is really important. This is a mistake I made for years, is you want to make sure that even in the beginning, you have your ad system, be it Facebook ads or AdRoll or whatever, set up to build an audience based on the traffic that views the pages. And so you can see I number them, audience 1, audience 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Okay, so keep that in mind. Minimum viable product, build a funnel out as you go, and make sure you have your ad platform set up to track the audiences. Now, the other thing I'm going to show you is when you map this out, so let's just say that this is real. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages here. So, and I have some little emails indicated here. And then these things are, these audiences are what ads going to show to you. So this is important. Remember earlier I said people did the funnel days. They built out these great elaborate funnels, and then they got overwhelmed. They couldn't keep up with the content. Well, here's why. You need to have content for everything. You have to have content for your ads and your pages and your emails and your videos and your images and your content posts, all this stuff. So what I found is over the years, I've put together my own 7-figure copy scripts and templates. So as you're going through and opting in and buying things, you want to make sure you keep things organized so you have your own swipe file. So I have these copy scripts and templates I put together for all the marketing messages. So anytime a new project I start, be it my own or with a client, we go through a checklist. Here's all the marketing messages we got to create. Here's the sales page template. Here's the video scripts. Here's the webinar scripts. Here's the emails. Here's ads. So that we can just focus on the content first before we get to building any funnel. Okay, so most people start with the building first, and then they get overwhelmed because they don't have all the content. It's better to go get all your copy together. And again, what I've done over the years, I've just created a kind of a template file. It's almost like a checklist. So we could just, every project, we know we do our marketing messages, our sales pages, our on pages, our videos, webinars, emails, ads, etc. And then we go from there and we give all that copy to our funnel team and they build everything out. When it comes to launching, you want to get clear on are you going to do a pre-launch, a beta launch, you're going to do a big video launch with an open and closed cart, what are you going to do after the launch, and or are you going to do an evergreen launch? You just want to get clear. So we're still in this kind of step 1 of the strategy. Remember, step 1 of the strategy is your offer, your funnel type, your content, and how are you going to launch. When it comes to paid ads, this is the traffic piece. So remember, again, try to make this really succinct for you. I don't want you to get lost here. We're still in step 1 of the 4-step framework. And step 1 of that 4-step framework is strategy. In that strategy, there are the 5 elements: the offer, the funnel, the content, the launch, and the traffic. So right here, I want to address the traffic. When you come to do paid ads, especially on Facebook, there's really only 4 things that matter. The offer, hopefully you're starting to recognize the trend here. The offer is important. When it comes to an ad, who are going to show the offer to? What are the words? What are the actual words you're going to type out on that? And then the creative, which is the photo or the video. That's it, you guys. That's all you really have to worry about. When you put this in place, you can generate massive revenue. Here's an example of a client that helped put a course together, done over $4.7 million in 12 months. That's 1 year, 12 months. It's one course. It's not even a great funnel, but what happens, there's a massive traffic system put in place where the pixels there, the conversion events, or the audience is there. We're retargeting people. There's banner images. It's an incredible niche. It's a clear offer, and it's fantastic. But listen, this is the type of revenue you get when you have a 7-figure traffic system put in place. This is how you scale from getting started making your first 6 figures online, which is pretty easy, you guys. You can do 6 figures online with no ads, no funnel, no nothing. But how do you scale beyond that? And the way you do that is with a 7-figure traffic system. And a big part of that is retargeting. So here's just a quick image to show you what happens. People visit your site, the pixel fires, and then the ad delivers and follows them around to wherever they go. So if they're on a sports site or a news site or a social site or like a cooking site or a weather site or the coronavirus site, like your ads track them everywhere. Here's just a bunch of screenshots I took within about 5 minutes of what I'm seeing. So these are all sites I've been on. You probably recognize some of these people. And these are all of their retargeting banner display ads. You want to make sure you implement this on your ad. So if you remember, when I went back here, one of the things we do in ads is we have all of our things put together in templates so that we can launch quickly, because step 2 is building, right? So we're going through here, we're building everything out, and we're getting all this set up, is we're building out all the creatives. We're building the content. We're putting the content together using those scripts and templates. We're putting our ads together using the templates. And we're doing that because step 4 of the 4-step framework is optimize and scale. I told you to put an asterisk by it. When you optimize and scale, this is all about tracking data. This is all about data over assumptions and opinions. Remember, that's one of the 9 mindset and beliefs. This is all about making decisions based on the data and not your opinion. You do that by tracking the data. You optimize and scale by what the data shows you. You retarget people, you optimize, you get more consistent, you're tracking KPIs, you're continuing to evolve and get better. And over time, with the retargeting, you're quickly becoming a celebrity. Now, here's Sonia. This is one of my very first clients, my very first revenue partner. Back in 2014, we teamed up. We grew the list over 200,000 people. We did over $3.6 million in 22 months. We sold over 10,000 online courses, and we did this, you guys, by tracking the data. And here's an example of a screenshot that we used in her webinar. Quick lay of the land. Every funnel I do, I track this way. We track the daily ad spend, clicks, cost per click, opt-ins, registrations, sales, refunds, etc. We track the weekly totals. We track everything down so that we can tell you on a given day, a given week, a given month, given quarter, given year, what our earnings per click are, what our cost per click are, what our cost per attendance are, earnings per attendance. And we track all of this. This is important because when you're at this point, and now you want to go get some JV or affiliates that have big lists that can really send you massive amounts of traffic and generate 6 and 7 figures in revenue, they want to know these numbers, okay? And you don't want to go get a big affiliate before you know these numbers, because you're going to end up burning the traffic. So one of my favorite sayings is this: the money's in the math, you guys. You have to understand the math. I cannot stress this enough. You want to understand what the profit potential is going to be. So here's just a quick example that I show clients. So I get a call all the time where clients will say, look, I have this offer, I want to make $1 million, it's fantastic. And I'll say, great, how much money do you have for ads? And I'll say $5,000. So the yellow fields are fields that we can plug in. And I'll say, what do you think we can get cost per click on? And say, I don't know. So we plug in a number, because we can't tell until we run ads, but we plug in a number that we believe would be true. So this scenario, we put $1.25. That tells us we get 4,000 clicks. If we take a reasonable opt-in conversion, obviously we want this number to be as high as possible, but I also never want to paint this pie in the sky for people. Like, I would never put 40 or 50% here, because I don't want to get their hopes up. I would rather show them 25% and have it convert at 40%, right? That's a under promise, over deliver. So in this scenario, say, look, if you got $5,000, if we get $1.25 cost per click, and we can get 25% opt-in rate, we'll have 1,000 leads, which means you will pay $5 per lead. If the sales page converts at 3%, we're going to have 30 sales, which is going to cost you $166 per customer. That's your customer acquisition. And if your average deal value is $270, that means you're going to gross $8,100 in revenue, which is not bad, but it's not $1 million. So I show people that, hey, sometimes your expectation is not in line with your resources, right? And that's important. You need to understand the math of things. So here's an example, a screenshot. This is when I was working with Sonia. Again, I'm not making any income claims or guarantee you're going to make any amount of money. But here's an example of my inbox. You can see this was 2001 to 2000 to 2050 of 8,400 sales. And at the time I took these screenshots, and these screenshots are, this is from a little while ago. Here was, 2051 to 2100, and it just kept going. Again, well over 10,000. Here's a value ladder. Remember I told you I did 3.6 million, and a friend of mine said you should have done 30 million. We didn't have the offers to ascend people to. So you want to be clear about how you're going to ascend people. What are going to be the higher ticket offers you're going to offer and promote? So this is what it looks like. The higher the price, more value. Here's a quick down and dirty example to show you how to do ads. So here's a little acronym. It stands for BELT. I learned this from a couple guys online. It's fantastic. It's called Belief, Engage, Lead, and Trust. You want to, as you're creating your ads, at the top of the funnel, you want to create ads, an ad campaign. There's an ad set inside a campaign and then your ads. So in my example, I want you to believe that it's possible for you to make money online. Now, I want you to believe that because I know I've made money online for the last 12 years. I've helped lots of people make lots of money online, and there's a lot of people that I don't know that I see making money online. So I want you to believe. If I were putting an ad in front of you right now, it would be in the belief stage. The next level of ads, and these ads, in theory, should only go to the people that watch or view these ads, right? Remember the little green circles with the audiences. This would be audience number 2. These ads, I want to engage and entertain and educate people. These are going to be shorter videos. So these videos, I might start teaching step 1 or step 2 or step 3, or I might try to teach a 4-step framework. But these are much shorter videos. Third step is lead, right? B-E-L-T, remember the BELT acronym. So lead is here. I'm starting to lead people to take an action. Lead them to opt in, lead them to buy, lead them to watch a webinar. I'm leading them to do something. So one example is I might lead them to join a 5-day workshop or a 5-day challenge. And then the fourth set is the transact. These are strong call to actions. I'm trying to get them to buy right now today. Here are some retargeting basics. These are the 3 most effective ad sizes: 300 by 600, 250 by 300, 728 by 90. Remember all of the screenshot of all the visual ad banners. These are the most effective ad sizes. I'm not going to drill down into this too. This might even be overkill here, but there are 8 different recipes for retargeting, and there's 4 main types of retargeting: the brander, the product reminder, instant celebrity, and fence jumper. Most of the ones I showed you were really focused right here on instant celebrity. So this is the same format actually. So let me ask you a question. I'm giving you a lot right now, maybe too much, honestly, maybe too much if I went through that. But let me ask you a question, you guys. Would you like to have a mentor hold your hand? Like, would you have a mentor help you craft and test your offer? How about a mentor to hold your hand and help you build a high converting funnel and help you with all the tech stuff? Would you like a mentor to hold your hand and help you choose the best tools and platforms for you? Remember, there's no right or wrong tool. There are tools that are going to work better for you than other tools. So would you like someone to help you choose the best tools and platforms? Or would you like someone to help you grow your personal audience, to grow your tribe, to save you countless hours of trial and error, and to save you thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars on courses and templates? I personally have spent over $150,000 of my own money on courses and programs and trainings and software. So if you would like someone to hold your hand with that, that's why I'm curious. Would you like a mentor to help you get your organic traffic strategies set up and executed and working? Would you like a mentor to hold your hand to help you get your paid traffic campaigns launched and working? How about to have someone help you get more leads and more clients and more customers? Or what if you're doing high-ticket sales? Would you like a mentor that could get on the phone with you and your prospect and help you close high-ticket sales over the phone? Or what if you want to do a webinar? Would you like to have a mentor hold your hand and help you craft and script the webinar and put the funnel together, get the slide decks and all the text together? Well, you might be asking, well, Drew, what's a mentorship? Well, bottom line is everything you need to succeed. It's weekly coaching, support, mentorship, FAQ, frequently asking questions, calls, tools, resources, scripts, templates, funnels, and so much more, like hot seats. In fact, you could think of a mentorship as your personal time machine. And yes, sorry to get a drink of water. You can go learn all this stuff yourself, you guys. You absolutely can. You can go to YouTube and watch countless videos. You can buy the puzzle piece courses, and eventually, I believe you can get put together. This is not rocket science, so yes, you can do it on your own, or you can just choose to work with someone like me to get a mentor and take the most direct path. Not a shortcut, but the most direct path. Now, let me tell you something. This is not for you. This mentorship is not for you. If you'd rather struggle working hard than work smart, like if that's you, this is not for you. This is not for you if you like figuring stuff out by yourself. Or if you already have it all figured out, it's not for you. This is absolutely not for you if you have a tendency to be negative, whine, complain, or blame outside circumstances for your results. And this is not for you if you're content with where you're at right now. And this is not for you if you're just not interested in doing the work necessary to really make it happen. Remember David, the NLP, great guy, 58,000 in 1 month versus 120. They could be doing way more, but they were not interested in doing all the work necessary to complete the webinar to get to automate. Okay, so I just want you to understand that. If that's you, then this is not for you. But on the flip side, this is absolutely for you. If you're just starting out and you're looking for step-by-step guidance, this is for you. This is for you if you're not sure how to get started or what to do next. This is for you if you're tired of struggling in business alone. I don't know about you, but I'm extremely blessed, and I got a great wife who's extremely supportive. But I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't have that. And even though my wife is supportive, sometimes when I'm trying to talk to her about what I'm doing, I can just see the gloss over, right? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So if that's you, you don't want to be in business alone, this is for you. If you want to start making money like right away, then this is for you, right? If you are tired of buying courses or buying programs, or there's a 6-week expectation or a 6-month expectation before you can make any money, then this is for you, because this is for people that want to get started right now, right away, making money. And this is also for you if you're just overwhelmed and you're tired of chasing shiny objects and money, and you're just ready to start doing what it takes, then this is for you. So 60-day mentorships is really broken into 3 phases. Phase 1 is going to be mindset, strategy, and validating testing. Right? Because if your mindset's not right in the right place, you're not going to execute the strategy or test your offers. So that's phase 1. We got to get through that. Phase 2, content, funnels, tech, and launching. Step 3 is optimizing and scaling. So how are we going to do that, guys? Well, we're going to do that through live Zoom calls. Every Monday, we're going to have the Monday mentorship and coaching and FAQ calls. Every Wednesday, we're going to have calls that are dedicated to conversion, data, and tech. When you join as a mentorship, you're going to get access to it. Just you and I privately, one-to-one, are going to do a private strategy session. In that session, I'm going to help you map out your custom funnel blueprint. Not the big elaborate one that's going to leave you overwhelmed, but we're going to do it and so that they're phases, so that you know this is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We're going to do that because why? We want you to get results and evidence as quickly as possible. We're going to help you map out a content marketing plan that is content that works for you, content that you will create. Let me give you an example. If you have never been on video, you refuse to get on video, you never plan to get on video, it is a waste of time and your money to create a content that relies on video because you're not going to do it. This is the benefit of when you work with a mentor, someone who can help you one-to-one versus a course that might not be tailored to you. And we're going to give you a launch plan. Okay, all of that's going to be done with you privately one-to-one. When you work with me and I'm your mentor, I'm going to give you access to all of my 7-figure copy, scripts, and templates. Now, guys, this is huge. Remember earlier I told you I've spent over $150,000 of my own money on all this stuff? You have the benefit now of not having to buy it. Yes, you're still going to need a ClickFunnels account or something like that, but in terms of just scripts and templates and things like that, you don't have to buy any of that anymore because chances are I already own it. And I'm going to give that all to you, and then I'm going to coach you on how to complete it and fill it out so that it makes sense for your offer. This includes marketing messages, sales pages, videos, webinars, course workbooks and guidebooks, lead magnets, emails, course handouts, product promo images, ads, and so much more, you guys. You're also going to get your very own custom done-for-you funnel. Yes, I'm going to show you how to get your MVP funnel set up in ClickFunnels, and you may not need anything beyond that, but if you do, I'm going to give you a custom done-for-you funnel. Okay? You're going to get that. Now, I'm going to have my own team build this for you. Okay, so this would be something when you're in the optimized scale. If you want to make the funnel look better, great, no problem. I'm going to give you one of those. Now, here, the slide here, done is better than doing. You can see that I have the same slide here, which is a mistake, but what is not a mistake is when you join the mentor program, my team is going to set up your 7-figure traffic system. We're going to set up your pixel, your conversion bench, your audiences, and we're going to create the banner templates for all the images for you, okay? So here's what you get in the mentorship. You're going to get that private one-to-one strategy session and blueprint with me. That's a $5,500 value, guys. That is real value. Real people pay that to me to help them on that. So that is real. The 7-figure copy, scripts, and templates, I'm only putting a $697 value on this, but honestly, I've spent probably $10,000 to acquire all this stuff. The done-for-you funnel, if I had my team design and build a funnel for you and set up all the tech and the email automations, it would be $3,500. So it's a real value that real people pay. I'm going to have my team set up that 7-figure traffic system for you. Again, that's setting up the Facebook campaign, setting up the Google display network using via AdRolls, how we'll do that, and all the retargeting recipes. That's all included. That's easily $2,500 value. And then you're going to get access to the 60 days, get access to me for 60 days for launch support, mentorship, and accountability. And that's a $4,000 value. Again, that's real value. People pay $2,000 a month to be in my inner circle just to get access to those weekly calls to get help with strategy and conversion data. So it's a total value of $16,197. So guys, if all this did for you was give you the fastest path to launching your expertise so that you can help others and you can get paid for it, would it be worth it? Or if all this did was give you that swift kick in the butt that you need so you could get moving, wouldn't it be worth it? Or listen, what if all this did was just enable you to finally have the impact you've been wanting to have in this world, the impact that you know you're capable of? Wouldn't it be worth it? Well, I think it would be. And so the good news is, you guys, you can apply today. I'll show you how in just a moment. And you can get started for as little as $3,750. It's simple, 2 payments of $3,750. Or you can save even more and make one payment of $6,000. Now, here's what I want you to know. My normal fee for this is $10,000. Real people pay $10,000 plus 20%. So this is if you make the one payment, obviously it's the best deal. That's a 40% off the top savings to you, plus no revenue. You don't have to share the revenue. Or if you do the $3,750, it's still a 25% off the top savings. And again, there's no revenue share. So I want you to know this is not some theory, you guys. Until now, I only share this with my one-to-one partners, my revenue partners. I've tested this entire system. It's proven its results with my own offers and dozens of client offers. And at this point, I know I can just make a bigger impact in the world myself by sharing this with more people, which is why I'm no longer working with people one-to-one. The strategy sessions are going to be one-to-one, but the calls after that from now on with all my existing clients and you are all going to be group. Again, the method is time tested and proven. And to this day, I'm using these exact strategies on not only myself, but the 8 different revenue partnerships that we're running online. And so I know that they work, right? So if you're thinking, I'm ready, where do I start? All you have to do right now is commit, focus, and take action. And I know you've already spent almost an hour and 20 minutes with me right now here, so that tells me a lot about who you are. So listen, if you're smart and you decide to work with me, nothing's held back. I promise you that. There's no missing steps. All you have to do is follow my lead and step-by-step, just like Monica did. She said all she had to do is copy and paste. I'm on a mission to accelerate your growth, to remove your headaches and remove all the bad advice that you've been given. I'm going to give you the exact process to follow so you can truly build a business that meets your terms. Right? So again, this mentorship it's a 60-day process. I'm going to walk you through the phases of the 4-step framework. You're going to get live consulting, coaching, Q&A calls. You're going to get access to a community of other like-minded entrepreneurs. And the goal of this mentorship is really simple, is to help you build a profitable online business, leveraging both organic and paid marketing strategies. And once you join this, you'll have lifetime access to all of the recorded trainings. So I want you to know that I had 2 choices. I continue to reserve this for high-level partners who have invested as much as $15,000. Currently, that's an old price. Most people in the past year and a half have paid $10,000, but some have paid up to $15,000 plus revenue share. Currently, people are paying 20-25% revenue share, but Sonia was paying 50% profit share on that, as well as a few other people. So, or I could create this mentorship, right, where I could work with a small group of people, motivated individuals who are willing and able to commit to doing what they need to do to doing what needs to do to achieve their goals. So it's decision time for you guys, right? I just gave you the blueprint. I gave you the foundational statement. I told you the 3 things you got to focus on. I gave you the 4-step framework. So all you have to do, you have 2 options. You can do it yourself. Like I said, you can go watch countless hours of video. You can take what you've learned here and you can go do it on your way. That's going to be the slow way, the costly way, but you'll probably figure it out with trial and error. Or you can join me and take the proven success path, and we can do it together. This is an invitation to work with me to create and implement all the steps involved to launch your very own offer funnel and business. Now, I saw this post the other day from Jeff Bezos, regret minimization framework. He said, the framework I found which made the decision incredibly easy was what I called, which only a nerd would call, a regret minimization framework. So I wanted to project myself forward to age 80 and say, okay, now that I'm looking back at my life, I want to have minimized the number of regrets I have. So that's the question is, are you going to regret taking action or regret not taking action on this? The biggest issue I see, you guys, with online marketing is that there's just so many courses, all these puzzle pieces that people are selling. I said this to you earlier, You can go buy a course now on how to create a course, probably not going to help you. You can go create a course on how to do marketing, probably not going to help you. You can go buy a course on paid ads, probably not going to help you. You need someone who understands how to take all those pieces and put them together. You need someone who already has all those pieces to save you time and money. This is literally a time machine, you guys. In fact, if this feels like it's meant for you, then I want to invite you personally. All you have to do is, on the link I'm going to give you on the next slide, apply. It's a free call. There's no obligations. Myself and my team, we've made some time over the next few days to talk with you. It's going to take 30 to 45 minutes on the call, and the intention is simple. I want you to have the opportunity to ask questions and decide if the mentorship is a good fit for you. And on the flip side, I want the chance to talk to you and get to know you and ask you some questions so that I can decide if the mentorship is a good fit for you. And if collectively we feel like this is a good fit, then I will send you a link, you can make payment, and you can get signed up right away. So here's what I know to be true though. I would not be where I'm at today if I didn't invest in working with people who were where I already wanted to be and who could help me, give me the, again, not a shortcut, but the most direct path. So there's a lot of people who are going to watch this masterclass and schedule a call, and I can only handle 3 to 5 calls a day. So go ahead and apply now. You can go to drewburks.com/call. But listen, I'm going to give you something exciting, some bonuses, just to urge you to take action. So when you join, I'm going to extend it from 60 days to 30 days. That's right, I'm going to give you 30 extra days of mentorship and accountability and support. I'm going to give you access to my complete toolkit. All my Canva templates for course workbooks, guidebooks, product promos, lead magnets, profile funnel, organic traffic strategies. I'm just going to give you that on a silver platter. I'm going to give you access to my very own 7-figure funnel library, which is filled with challenge funnels, membership funnels, summit funnels, webinar funnels, lead funnels, and sales funnels. Because remember, in the beginning with the MVP, you want to be able to just execute quickly. And so rather than trying to get clear and have something designed, right? This is why you don't want to have a custom funnel designed in the beginning, because they're going to need the copy and you won't know the copy and the offer at that point. So I'm going to give you access to these 7-figure funnels. Already, they're professionally designed. They look incredible, and you can take them with my help and my guidance, apply them to your offer, and get launched and executed right away so you can start making money right away. I'm also going to give you access to my 7-figure webinar system. So guys, I've already done 3 different webinars that have produced multiple 7 figures each, and dozens, literally dozens and dozens who have done low to mid 6 figures and a few high 7 figures. I'm going to give that to you. This is something that people pay $25,000 for. I'm going to include this for you. I'm also going to give you help with high-ticket sales assistance, right? This is a little diagram I got from Tony Robbins. It's called Football Field. I'm going to show you how to use this, and then I'm going to show you how to use this with the 4-step framework so you can close $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 sales on the phone. I typically will do that with anywhere from 1 to 3 sales calls. Here's just a bunch of screenshots from other projects I'm helping clients with. $3,200 in the last 4 weeks. This is from July 1 to August 7, 2020, $270,000. This is from January 1 to August, $80,000. Right, here's another one, last 12 months, $102,000, $44,000 in the last month and a half. Here's another one, $6,700 in the last, this was July 31 to August 7. So again, I'm not making any guarantees to you. I'm just showing you what's possible for other people, and these people are no smarter than you are. So out of respect, I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to wrap this up right now. We've been going at 1 hour and 29 minutes. So you can see here, again, another example of how I am not perfect. I'm making mistakes. This slide does not have the webinar. Again, it's drewburks.com/call. There's probably a button below this video also. Here's a quick recap. You're going to get the private strategy session with me, which is going to be one-to-one. You're going to get the blueprint. That's a $5,500 value. You're going to get all my 7-figure copy scripts and templates. That's a $697 value. You're going to get the custom done for you funnel, $3,500 value. 7-figure traffic system all set up for you. That's a $2,500 value. You're going to get 60 days launch support, mentorship, and accountability, $4,000 value. Then you're going to get the bonus, which is Ultimate Launch Toolkit, conservatively priced at $1,497. You're going to get access to a 7-figure webinar system, which I very generously valued at only $10,000. Again, plenty of people paid $20,000, $25,000 for that. I'm going to give you access to my 7-figure funnel library, generously valued at $1,000. Again, it could easily be well over that. I'm going to give you the 30 days extra support, mentorship, and accountability, $1,000 value. And then the high ticket sales training, this is where I'll jump on up to 3 calls with you to help you close deals. That's valued at $3,000. So guys, that's a total value of $32,694. It's an incredible offer. I can only do this with about 10 people probably. So go ahead and apply. There's no obligations or cost to that call. Jump on, ask all the questions you want. Worst case scenario, you get some answers to questions you have and you go off and you do this on your own. Best case scenario, you decide that this is a good fit for you. I feel like it's a good fit for you. And then we get started working together and I help you take the most direct path to achieving your dreams and your goals and get that revenue coming in. So go to drewburks.com/call and I'll talk to you soon.